The massive month of June is coming to a close, but Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs will still have a giant list of official visitors coming to town this weekend, and that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. I'm going to be breaking down all of the official visitors that I've confirmed this week. Going to give you some details on all of them. It's still going to be a really big weekend, maybe not as star-studded as weekends that they've had earlier this month, but still plenty of top targets in town this weekend. And I'm going to break it down right now, so let's jump into it. Now, the first guy I want to talk about is four-star linebacker Jaden Perot. He's been one of Georgia's earliest commitments in the 2025 class, but it's no secret he has been taking a lot of other visits, doing what he needs to do to find the best place for him. Right now, he's still publicly committed to Georgia, but he's been to Auburn, he's been to Alabama. He was just at Tennessee last weekend, and the Vols are pushing hard. I mean, this is a kid 6'3", about 200, can attack the quarterback outside, can play inside, played on a Buford defense that was loaded with talent, and he stood out each and every week. I mean, he flashed big playability. I think he's one of the top linebackers, not only in Georgia, but across the South. He's the number 14 linebacker in the country, 133 overall. He's a big deal, and there's a reason Georgia pushed for him early in his recruitment. He's a really good player. And they're going to try to really lock this down this weekend and say, hey, we know you've been taking visits, but let's come out and say that you're done. You're 100% locked in with Georgia. That's what they want. Even though they are recruiting other linebackers, they want to keep this guy on board. And this is a big visit, for him and his family, for them to, get any questions they may have about Georgia answered. But there's a kid out of Buford, 55 tackles last year, 8 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, 1 INT. Not going to lap the stat sheet when you have guys like Edric Houston in front of you on the defensive line who's going to Ohio State. KJ Bolden, obviously at Georgia. He was surrounded by talent, still made an impact, so he's definitely a guy to know. Another guy I want to talk about, one of the best running backs in the country, going to be in Athens this weekend for a big official visit. I think the Dogs have some work to do here. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But first, I got to plug collegebronze.com, baby. You know what it is by now. It is the #1 Bulldog statue on the market. Get yours today with a discount. Promo code DAWGPOST when you order. DAWGPOST. The summer's here. You're out by the pool. You're in the yard. Have this bad boy on the porch. Let your neighbors know that you pull for the Dogs. The football season's right around the corner, and that's when you really want this Bulldog statue. Again, I'll give you a little preview. It's got the G on the front, the metal spikes. This is the best. It is the best. He's a member of our family. My 2-year-old loves it. Our dog loves it. Get yours today. All the information is right below in the description of this video. Don't miss out on the discount. Remember that. Okay, 4-star corner. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to talk about the running back. I almost flipped right over it. It's Oan Chrom. Lee County, tough, physical, big back. He's like 6'1", 200 plus pounds. He will run through you. He will run by you. One of my favorite running backs across the country. I think he's the best running back in the state. Auburn, Florida State have both done a terrific job with him. He's got to get to know Josh Crawford, Georgia's new running backs coach, a little bit more. I think that's what this big visit is about. They've got one running back on board in Bo Walker. Oan Chrom is a kid he runs like a deer, runs behind his pads. He's going to run through a defender if they don't tackle him properly. But he's got breakaway speed. He ran really well against some top defenses down in middle Georgia, South Georgia. You let me know where Lee County is. Feels like it's right on that border. I'm going to consider it South Georgia, but they play a lot of middle Georgia teams. But he's a big-time running back, and I think Georgia fans would be ecstatic. I think that's the word, ecstatic, if this guy were to jump on board. But they need to get past Auburn and Florida State, in my opinion. At least that's what I'm hearing. Okay, 4-star cornerback Shamari out of Virginia, South Carolina commitment. He's the number 103 overall prospect in the country, number 4 prospect in Virginia. He's a big kid. Now, he's 6'2", 200. Maybe he moves to play safety, maybe play that star position, but he's ranked as a cornerback, and that's a big cornerback. But he's long, he's athletic, he plays the ball well in the air. He's a really good cornerback. He already looks the part, and Georgia's going to have him on campus. If they want to, push for him and, start to make him more of a priority, maybe they already have, but they're going to show him and his family this weekend everything he needs to know. They're going to tell him all about Georgia, and if they want to push for a flip, I think they're going to have a good shot. I mean, again, he's committed to South Carolina. Could probably play a little earlier at South Carolina than Georgia, but he's a really good player. He's the top 105 player in the country. Again, right? Ranked 103. Really good player. We'll see how this turns out. Cortez Smith, 4-star offensive lineman out of Parkview. If you're familiar with my work, if you're on Dog Post, you know about this young man already. 6'3", 280. Probably will play center at the next level, but could play some guard too. He's the number 11 interior offensive lineman in the country, number 156 overall. And Georgia's been linked with him for a long time. It feels like for most of his recruitment since he's had a Georgia offer. He's been on campus a lot. You know, Georgia's been the team linked with him. So he's one of the best interior linemen in Georgia. And the state of Georgia's loaded with really good offensive linemen. Cortez Smith is one of the best. He's fundamentally sound. He's technical. He moves extremely well. Plays with a solid base. Plays with good leverage. Smart. He can pull in the run game. Bury those linebackers at the second level into the ground. Opens up a lot of running lanes. He's a guy to know. He's going to be making a commitment late July unless he moves it up forward. But right now, I believe it's July 20th. I like Georgia's chances, have for a while. And I think they have a chance to take a comfortable lead with this young man this weekend. 4-star cornerback Chris Ewell out of Florida, former Michigan commitment, earned an offer from Georgia, I guess, earlier this year, and immediately decommitted from Michigan. Looks like Miami's the team to beat. Chaminade Madonna Prep in South Florida, so he's a South Florida cornerback, and Miami is opening the checkbook to basically anyone. You talk about using NIL whatever way you can. Miami is telling all these kids, you know, we can do this for you. So if they're pushing for a local kid cornerback who can help their program, they could be tough to beat for a lot of guys. But he was supposed to take his official visit to Georgia earlier this month. It's instead going to be this weekend. 5'11", 170 pounds. Had 45 tackles last year, 2 interceptions, 20 pass deflections. This guy plays the ball really well. He closes well on receivers. It shows really good instincts. Not the fastest, not the most physical, but he does both of them enough. But it's his closing speed and his ability to knock passes away, proving to be one of the top lockdown cornerback prospects in South Florida. He's going to be in town this weekend. The number 20 cornerback prospect in the country, number 159 overall. So he's got to know. Another 4-star defensive back, I believe he's a safety, Jalen Morgan out of Rockville, Tennessee. 6 foot, 185, strong instincts and coverage. He's the number 24 safety prospect, number 250 overall. Georgia's looking for defensive backs. He's a guy to keep an eye on. We'll see if they start to push for him more and more. We'll see how this visit goes, but he's a guy to keep an eye on. Out-of-state safety prospect. And again, you can read all of this over on Dog Post. So I've got a full list. I'm not going to talk about everyone in this video because I want y'all to head over to the website and read everything that I've written. My fingers are hurting. I've got a lot of stories. You can read for free over on Dog Post. Really appreciate it. Make sure you check it out. But I'm going to keep rolling. I'm going to keep rolling with the names, all right? It's Friday. Let's go. I'll give y'all some scoop. 4-star Tyler Williams out of Sumner High School in Florida, 6'2", 190. He caught only 26 passes last year, according to Max Preps. Scored 14 touchdowns. 14 touchdowns on just 26 catches for 585 yards. This is a big play machine. When he catches the ball, dude's looking to score. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Number 56 wide receiver prospect, number 3061 overall. Is not super highly ranked, and then that's not going to really get Georgia fans excited, but he's a big play receiver from Florida that I think Georgia fans need to keep an eye on. He's been at Athens a lot. I think he may be a little higher on Georgia's board than people realize, but they've already got 2 on board. C.J. Wiley's coming off the board next week. Travis Smith Jr. has a spot in this class, and there's still a lot of receivers to know. I think they're going to take 5. He's one to know. So is Phillip Wright out of Destrehan, Louisiana. He's the number 65 wide receiver prospect, number 405 overall. I think he's more of a plan C, D, H, G, I, K type of option there. But a guy I know, he's going to be in town. But a guy you need to keep an eye on is Landon Ralston out of North Oconee. I've written about him multiple times for PrepRedZone.com when I cover high school football as an under-the-radar type. But it's hard to call him that anymore. He's got an offer from Georgia after working out for the staff last week. Earned an offer. Was incredibly productive last year for North Oconee. So he's in that Athens area. 6'1", 175, caught 50 passes for 1,290 yards, 13 touchdowns last year as a junior. Can stretch the field, great after the catch. He can help in the screen game. He can get open, create separation, and he's got decent size, but he dominated in front of the staff with his North Oconee team in that 7-on-7 tournament. They offered him. He's going to be in town this weekend for an official visit, and if he has the green light to jump on board, I don't see him going anywhere else. Local kid, offer from Georgia. I mean, at that point, you know, if they let him jump on board, I don't see how he doesn't do that. So he is a wide receiver to know, ranked as just a 3-star, but it won't be that way for long. So he's a productive, sure-handed guy who can stretch the field faster than people think, for sure. I think he's like a 4.4 guy. He's had a terrific spring in the camp circuit, and he's a guy that Georgia fans need to know about. So just a list of official visitors. Again, you can read all of this over on Dog Post. We got a lot of other stories too, but another big weekend to basically close out the month of June for official visitors. Make sure you get your Bulldog today. Don't forget promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST, so you get the discount. You can order in the description below in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on the website.